studio. Laura Dern is in studio with us. Enlightened,
yes.
HBO, and it's a very strange, haunting little thing that you've got on there. Do you like your character?
I love her.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love her so much. I can't tell you. Amy Jellicoe is a rager, but more than anything, she's outraged, which I think a lot of us can find extremely relatable.
She's very much on the edge so far that she actually needs kind of a reprogramming goes on for her, and swings from one side to the other very quick.
Exactly.
There's no gray area
None.
in this woman's life. But you kind of, you guys kind of feel like this is kind of about the way people live. A lot of people are living today.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all are, to quote Network, mad as hell, and we're not going to take it anymore. Mm-hmm. And we've been sitting around in this country for the last 12 years or so with some cultural apathy, mm-hmm. and not thinking getting in the street can make much of a difference. And I think there are those of us like Amy who want that to mean something. So she is going to say what she feels. She's going to do it probably extremely poorly. She's going to feel everything in an enormous way and screw up probably almost every area of her life.
But she wants balance, right? I mean, she desperately wants balance.
Exactly, but she longs for it. And, you know, I think she goes about it in ways that I love, and I love in the writing because I think it's very human, that she wants balance by projecting that balance onto her ex-husband addict and her mother who is incapable of showing her affection, and her, you know, greed-based corporation. So it's just where she's trying to put that balance is not really listening.
Yeah, she actually wants the world to change all around her. She wants everybody to make giant changes so that she can finally feel good about herself. Now, you're talking about taking it to the streets, but you're in New York now. And we take it to the streets.
I love it.
There is a constant amount of people protesting one thing or another here.
Yeah.
Not the least of which is the giant rat that they'll put out in front of. The union guys have this giant rat, and they just go out and beat on stuff. And it always makes me feel good when I walk past the giant rat.
Me too, man. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I say march on Wall Street. Do whatever you need to do. It's time we start, you know.
Well, we had the March on Wall Street, which apparently is not going to stop. This is going to go on for quite a while.
Yeah.
Maybe forever. And then there was a great one the other day in the Village called Slut Walk, where the girls dressed slutty. I'm talking about thousands, because they said they're tired of the legal system blaming victims for the way they were dressed or how drunk they were. So I don't know about the rest of the country, but New York is ready to say, I'm uncomfortable with this.
It's so beautiful. We love New York. I'm moving here tomorrow.
Now, it is that for you as a person is something you think Americans need to do more of, whether it's Tea Party, whoever it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think, you know, what happened in Egypt recently showed us that, you know, anyone can use their voice and affect massive change, which is incredible.
Right.
I feel like this is, you know, our generation, the generation, you know, before us, people are just have forgotten that. It's really odd. So it's coming back. We're all getting into our New York sensibility.
You're doing this with Mike White, who you've worked with before, who is, I'm going to use bizarre as a compliment here.
Yeah,
but
please.
he's incredibly bizarre, and it really walks a line with almost everything that he does.
Yeah, it's incredible. He's such he's hilariously funny writer, but it always has, you know, edge and complication and you know, deep flaw in his characters. I mean, I think most notably people know him from writing and acting in School of Rock. Mm-hmm. But all of his work as a writer and director, and now creator of the show, he, you know, he lives in the gray. And it's funny, as you said, to take a character who it has to be this or has to be that, but it's like the writing sensibility is, you know, unfortunately life doesn't work that way.
Funny and uncomfortable. I think
and uncomfortable
is a place that he walks all the time. And with your character, we don't know whether she's going to end up okay or, you know, maybe in a loony bin by the time this is over.
Probably both.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think she'll always have both.
And that's a fun place for you to work. I know the David Lynch films is what most people knew you from at first. And there's no stranger films. There's no more films that you'll watch, sit, discuss, and go, wait, did that happen? Go back and have to watch again over and over. So you've always been drawn to this kind of thing.
I have been, and I've always been drawn to, deeply complicated people, because I think most people are complicated and are all things and capable of all things, as we know, and trying to find the room for empathy for an audience within that character. I mean, most notably, which is what sort of then started my relationship with HBO, I did Recount for HBO and played Secretary of State Katherine Harris, which was a really interesting challenge for me because I had a lot of opinions going in and, wanted to understand somebody I didn't have a lot of understanding room for. And it's just great. It's awesome to get to be an actor for that very reason.
So you have to figure out exactly why they make the decisions that they make, not whether or not you agree with them.
Exactly.
But there is some kind of logic even in a villain. A villain, I don't think, sets out to play like the old style, I'm going to be the evil villain and destroy the world. They normally have a tendency, I guess, to think that they're doing something correct.
It's interesting. I feel so lucky to be raised by my parents on an artistic level, because my mother, Diane Ladd, who's actually in this show with me, who's such
already
a great actor.
Already, the first couple episodes is only very small, but she's phenomenal.
She's so phenomenal. Thank you. And my father, Bruce Dern, both of them, when I was a kid, especially during the 70s, were making movies with incredible filmmakers and stories where the very thing you describe was the essence of their acting ability. Most notably, my dad in Coming Home, which is one of my favorite movies, plays a man coming back from war, and we have really complicated feelings about him. And he's neither a bad guy nor a good guy. I mean, we're penetrated by feeling both things about him. And he shot and killed John Wayne. So we're always having complicated feelings about Bruce Dern. But
the interesting thing too about him in Coming Home is I think if they would have followed his character, we would have pulled for him more because he was in such pain.
Exactly.
But we're like, well, we want Jane Fonda to be happy. We want John Voight to be happy.
Exactly.
Which was always the great thing, I think, about those 70s movies that you brought up.
So incredible.
We really didn't know at the end. And at a certain point, somewhere during the 80s, we decided we want black and white movies.
We need to know.
Yeah.
Reaganomics, baby.
Yeah.
We got to know everything up front.
Yeah, and we got to feel, you have to leave the theater feeling really good.
That's so
and then
incredible.
you don't have those after discussions because what is there to discuss?
Exactly.
Yay, Tom Cruise won Top Gun. Good. But why that was happening, you and David Lynch were making really strange films.
Thank God for David. Yeah. David, Altman, there were a few, Jonathan Demme, there were these filmmakers who were going to still make their movies and tell their stories, which was really exciting. And now I think HBO, is really become that sensibility. They're sort of, I keep saying they're the United Artists of the 70s. I mean, they've kind of come in and said, we want artists to come and play in the gray again. And it's a great home to be and get to explore without some predefined idea of what anybody's supposed to be like.
Well, there's no doubt that this is something like an independent film as a TV series. So, I mean, you could easily see this as an independent film, but now we're going to follow. How many episodes a year are you going to do?
10. Or this season is 10, yeah. Which is pretty usual, I think, for them, between 8 and 10. And
the idea of corporate America is always so strange, isn't it? I mean, it's
strange.
Yeah.
And it's so fun. I love how Mike sort of portrayed it in this first season. It definitely establishes this company that I've, probably started as a receptionist working for, and after 15 years still am just at a mid-level job in health and beauty at best. But it's this giant corporation, and you hear that they're working in health and beauty and pharmaceuticals. So there's meds, and there's this other division that's big food. Clean Meds is this one company under it. And that's what it all feels like. It's like, what do these people do anyway? Mm-hmm. And where's this money going? And, I heard there was some kind of, oil pipeline, something. Didn't they have something to do with that? But they make food. I think it's perfectly expressed that you kind of don't even know what they're up to, but she will ultimately explore that.
Look into corporate America.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Which we now have just decided is completely normal. I mean, the fact that, there's no kind of really debating that if you do something for money, America goes, oh, well, that's why they did it. They have to make a profit.
Yeah.
We don't sit around and go, is there even another system? I mean, Obama, who being called a socialist is almost hysterical to me because I see him as, pretty much a good friend to big business. I really do. And yet, this is as far left as we can possibly get these days. Yeah. Obama is a freak, with normal people.
It's just incredible, too, because he's, more than I think we've seen, he's reaching to the other side. He's trying to be a centrist in some ways to get anything pushed forward. I mean, the fact that any president on either side has to battle for our children to be covered to have health care is insane. Yeah. It's actually insane. Why is that a conversation? But yet it's a conversation. And it's an argument, and it's an attack, and it's a battle, and nothing gets achieved. It just seems like I don't know how anything gets done.
Well, to me, it's almost like if we'd have to argue if children would get police care. Like, should the police protect?
Exactly. If there's a fire, should anybody show?
Right. So it all seems like it's under the same thing. And yet, and I'm sure obviously, if you believe the polls, there's a lot of people who disagree with me. But the debate is almost just shouting in this country.
Yeah.
Now. It's no longer people talking.
Yeah.
In the background of all this, it's still about this one person, though, isn't it? It's still about, the way that you're telling the story, and we can make it as large as we want, but it really comes down to this one woman who represents this unease that a lot of people are feeling. And
it's interesting. Obviously, it's called Enlightened and for a very irreverent reason because she is a rager, and in some ways is the opposite of the word on every level. But what I love is there's also a deep, earnest place that we come from when we say that she is longing for something larger, a deeper understanding and some sense of self-worth, which I think, at its core is the problem in everything, that we don't have it. And so we're longing for, more them to do this so we can then finally be what?
Exactly.
We're waiting for all these things to fall into place so we can feel enough. And so she is on a journey, hopefully toward her own self-discovery, but in fact, she comes back into that place of, I'm going to affect change by changing my mother, changing my addict ex-husband, changing my corporation. And those things are tough places to do your work.
Yeah, even though she's enlightened in kind of a more of a new age way, we all have had friends that have been born again who it's constantly talking about it, or a guy gets out of rehab and it's just, I would have been, we know, just settle into it, man.
Exactly.
Settle in. But it does take, change, even change that feels immediate, takes years.
A lifetime.
No matter who it's for.
Just when we think, isn't it great that I've changed my pattern and now you and I are talking and I'm listening to you, and just as I'm saying it, I'm gone, I'm not listening, I'm doing the same shit I've been doing for 30 years. It's hard to be a person.
When it really is
so
difficult to make it through the whole thing. And I always think that just about the time that people find any kind of wisdom is where they go, all right, well then society will go, well then you're no longer needed. You know what I mean? As soon as people go, hey, I don't really need to have the latest computer or whatever that's coming out, that's when they go, okay, then we're not going to listen to you anymore.
It's so crazy. We've got it all screwed up now.
Yeah.
Just the concept of age, that now women in politics, it used to be a woman in politics, you have to prove that you're wise enough by being older to know enough to be in politics, and now there's Botox to say I'm young and hot so that I'm smart enough to help a state get out of, being bankrupt. I'm not sure how that works, but, it's just insane. And we put grandparents and, forget about them in old people's homes when they're probably the only ones with a few answers.
If the Botox stuff even worked, I'd probably be a fan. But the fact that it doesn't, I don't know why everyone keeps making the same mistake with it.
All I can say is the poster for our show is definitely my anti-Botox contribution. It is definitely a statement about women being themselves, even if it looks terrifying. I'm very refreshed to be in a poster like that.
You also have Luke Wilson in this with you, who is going in a different direction than I think I've ever seen him go before, because the charm thing is out the window.
Oh yeah, it's so raw, and I mean he's naturally so funny, but he's really exposing a very damaged person who's equally broken as Amy in a totally different way, and has a lot of rage himself. And it's funny how your anger can be buried by your rager partner. Mm-hmm. So I think that's an interesting dynamic, that the woman's the one that's so out of control, so he can sort of get away with being his own version of it.
And yeah, that is true, because men are honestly attracted somewhat to crazy women, because I think it makes everything else in life like, what can I do? Look at her, you know? The more she acts like, I'm just a regular guy just having a beer here, you can get credit for it.
Yeah, it just doesn't stop.
Well, it's HBO Enlightened. Laura Dern, who I already brought up, has done such great work in so many different films over the years, and managed to keep it somewhat steady. At least from the outside.
Nice
does it feel like that, or?
I think I've been blessed by directors that I love and admire wanting to work with me over the years. So I've been with these amazing, amazing artists. And so that's made me get a free ride, if you will.
Is it always about the director first for you when you're picking something, or?
It really is. I mean, I've worked with directors on their first film, but Alexander Payne's first movie, Citizen Ruth, he never directed, but I just knew from the script that he and Jim Taylor wrote that it was, just a
And he's never made anything bad since.
No,
I mean, since he started, like every film, he's taken some time off, and everyone's like, go ahead, take your time, because we're waiting.
Exactly. Exactly. Every movie is just beautiful and wonderfully irreverent and sad and all those great things.
So you got to work with so many great people.
It's so lucky.
Yeah.
Really, really lucky, and play, wonderfully complicated people who aren't easy. And, I just learn a lot more as an actor that way. So I hope I continue to get to play people like this.
I can't wait to see what the feedback was. I enjoyed the first couple episodes so much. It's Enlightened. It premieres this Monday, October 10th. At 9:30 on HBO. Different, I think, than any other show out there. So it'd be great to see how this plays out for you.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for coming in, Laura.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Thanks for the time. Awesome.